up? You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community. This time riding solo. This is Juanzo. Welcome to another episode of Raw Break, Monday Night Raw Review. I know, we guys are used to seeing John Paul here, but he's on assignment. He's actually getting ready for what we're going to be doing with like the Broken Skull sessions with Kevin Nash. So it is my turn to do the show, the post-show after Money in the Bank. Family, how's every single one of you? Hope that all of you had a great weekend. Thank you to every single one of you, because like we got a great weekend full with professional wrestling, a lot of views, a lot of subscriptions, a lot of comments. Thank you one more time for doing so. We wouldn't be nothing without you guys. So you know, we're gonna be talking about Monday Night Raw this time. But before we do that, you know, like I said, thank you for everything that you do for the channel, and also don't forget to keep watching the reviews. Money in the Bank completely in English. John Paul and myself talk about everything that happened on the show. You know, Nikki, A.s.h, Big E winning the briefcases, also like Roman Reigns retaining the Universal Championship with Edge, and the return of John Cena. All of that right there. We were live also on all the platforms that like we can. We were live on Twitch, YouTube, and also on Facebook. Thank you so very much to every single one that like was commenting, every single one that has been like, you know, participating in the lives. We wouldn't be nothing without you guys. So thank you again. Don't forget, family, we also have the Money in the Bank review en completo español para toda la gente de habla hispana. Todo lo que pasó con Roman Reigns y con Edge por el campeonato universal. Nikki, A.s.h y Big E ganando los maletines del dinero en el banco. No se olviden, el video está ahí también, está en la descripción ahí abajo. So family, let's switch it up now, gears. Now one more time in English. Let's talk about, you know, what happened in Monday Night Raw. That John Cena opened the show. He was ready. He was actually hyping the crowd. You know, John Cena on the mic, absolutely amazing. He was talking about people in Dallas, like everybody, like the universe, the WWE universe is finally back. He missed us, we miss him, all of those things. And he also says, well, you know what, everybody's like wanting to like know why am I here. You know, Pat McAfee's wanting to know that. Michael Cole, everybody just wants to know what's the purpose of John Cena coming back to the WWE. He says he's coming back for one reason only, and that's Roman Reigns and the Universal Championship. He also mentions that, you know, he could actually become the 17-time world champion. But he says that's not the main reason. The most important thing is that like Roman Reigns is an arrogant asshole. That's what he called him. You know, and John Cena, like always, the security, the confidence, and the ability on the promo always like gets you really hyped up for what is going to be SummerSlam. The war of words already started. So he calls him an asshole. He calls him an idiot. And he says that like he's gonna be on Friday for Smackdown, so you know it's gonna be really great. He's gonna like Roman Reigns is not gonna be able to see him. So great work from John Cena. He hyped the crowd. Like I said, that was a really great start for Monday Night Raw, but that wasn't the end. He just said we got that out of the way. I mentioned Roman Reigns and all of that, but then Matt Riddle came out, you know, the bro, and then he had an interaction with John Cena. Really cool. They were bro. It's like, why I finally get you. They went bro, and there, as you guys can see in the picture. So really nice stuff. You know, like Matt Riddle is also really over for Monday Night Raw. One of like the best characters, if not the best guy that they have, because like he's great in the ring. He has a lot of like great participation in the show because he's funny. He's actually, but in the ring he can, you know, always gives you good matches. That's what we had. It was just a good segment between the two of them. So that was a really good start for Monday Night Raw. You know, after that we got a 6-man tag. We got the tag team champions AJ Styles, Omos, and also John Morrison against Matt Riddle, that was already in the ring against the Viking Raiders. Pretty decent match. You know, we've seen these guys already yesterday, Money in the Bank. So like a little bit of like the same spots. You know, Ivar dominating a little bit, Eric having like a good night spots, Matt Riddle also like being dominated by AJ Styles, by Omos, by John Morrison. But like the main thing happened when the Miz is like, he has like the water, right? Like he shoots like the water, but then Matt Riddle takes that away from him, and then he starts shooting at Omos. Omos gets really pissed. He goes against the Miz, and AJ Styles like, no, he didn't do that. Come on. So they get all distracted. So that allows like the Viking Raiders to hit the Viking Experience onto John Morrison 1, 2, 3, and the Viking Raiders get the win. So that's good. That gives them a little bit more because of the loss that they had yesterday. So we're going to see what happened later on in the show. But that actually made them worthy of another tag team championship opportunity. So good for them. You know, the match is just like, hey, it's the beginning of the show. Not really, nothing great of importance. Nothing like it's going to get me really excited. But at least, you know, seeing the Viking Experience is just a cool finisher. So that was like the second stuff that we have, like the second segment. Now let's move on to the Symphony of Destruction. And that was Riker against Elias. You know, fighting one more time. The rivalry still is going on. It's still happening. But in this one, I really like that the spots that they had. The Symphony of destruction. We've seen that so many times with Braun Strowman, well, involving all of them. That's kind of like Elias like specialty match. But in this one, you know, they had like good spots with like you say like tables, you can see chairs. There was a big spine buster on top of the piano, so that was good. Riker dominating. They're trying to make him like a believable character, and I like that. He's a good opportunity for him to solidify himself, to actually break off of like the Forgotten Sons, you know, staples that he was actually there, but like nothing really come out of that. So this is his breakthrough. It's like a really big opportunity, like I said, for him to actually become like a regular member in the Monday Night Raw roster. And you know, Elias is helping him out, he's putting him over, and also like the main spot that we have is like a big superplex that they did, you know, on top of like 2 tables that had set up. And then in the end, you know, Riker gets the win. Elias got a little bit of blood coming out, so good. And like I said, Riker from here needs to move on to something better, maybe like the United States Championship. Maybe he starts feuding with like another believable baby face, you know, maybe somebody. There was a lot of returns. This show had a lot of things coming out of, you know, the Money in the Bank and now Monday Night Raw. So this is a good start for Riker, you know, 2 weeks in a row, or like 3 weeks in a row. He's got like decent wins. The strap match, now the Symphony of Destruction. Elias unfortunately is just a gimmick that like never wins, always loses. That if the guy is like happy with the way he is, you know, he is portrayed or his book, that's for him, you know, that's all on him, but it's not for us. So family, let's move on to the next segment, and this is Mansoor. Mansoor is actually going to team up with Mustafa Ali. So like they're putting them together. You know, remember Mustafa was actually trying to mentor Mansoor at the beginning of his Monday Night Raw career, so now they're actually putting them in a tag team. Mustafa Ali was really pissed at the beginning. He's like, hey, I don't want to do this, I don't want to be part of that. But Mansoor is like, hey, you know what, man, maybe we can try it, maybe it can turn into something. So we're gonna see this, and at the end Mustafa Ali ends up like agreeing to this. Like, hey, so 1 win only, we'll see how it goes after that. So that's what like pretty much they did. So now we go to Sheamus. Sheamus actually talking to Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville, and he's like, hey, you're gonna have 1 more match against Humberto Carrillo. He's like, oh, I don't want to do that, I already beat him, I'm already like kick his ass, I already like destroy him, I already put the guy down. But it's like, if you guys want me to do that 1 more time, shame on you, because you guys are gonna see the same ending for that movie. So there you go. So that's what like we said. So we're gonna see also later on like the coronation, or like the championship coronation celebration for Charlotte Flair. So like, you know, everybody's like really pissed. A lot of backlash from like Charlotte winning the Raw Women's Championship 1 more time. But you know, in the end, you know, what happened in the end of the show actually makes us like really good, and they made us forget what happened around this time. You know, with this segment, Charlotte comes out and he's like, I told you so, I told you so. You know, I'm the best woman in the world, I'm the best wrestler in the world. So there you go. You know that like I was gonna win it. Everybody else knew it. It's like, you guys are all pissed for, you know, the wrong reasons. It's like, you guys should be embracing me. A little bit of like Roman Reigns. He's like, I told you that I was gonna be the one winning the women's championship. You guys don't believe it? Well, there you go. A lot of like Becky Lynch chants, and then she goes, well, Becky is like, you know, breastfeeding her daughter while I'm just like, you know, running the women's division, so that's fine. But then Becky Lynch actually responded in a tweet and saying like, you know, it looks really bad that like despite the fact that I'm breastfeeding my own baby, then like I'm still running that division. Like everybody just pops for me. So you know, that's what we have. She was just taunting about Rhea Ripley and saying how good she was. You know, like she's already like an 11-time women's champion, and that is gonna make her like the best wrestler of all time, like the best female wrestler of all time. And she says, you know, nobody can beat me. Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville come out because Charlotte has said also that she can beat Rhea Ripley any day, anytime. They said, you know what? Also, you know, you're gonna do that tonight then, because also Rhea Ripley had come out and they said, why don't we have a rematch tonight? So they actually agreed to it. Charlotte is really pissed, so she's ended up attacking Rhea Ripley a little more. So the rivalry is still there. Am I tired of seeing it? Yes, I am. You know, I'm never been so like engaged into this. It's not that I don't like them. I know I think Charlotte's a great wrestler. Rhea Ripley, she's pretty decent also. But like the fact that like we've been seeing this for already like two months and a half, I'm not really, you know, wanting to see more of these matches. But this is going to be the main event that we're going to have for the end of the show, family. So, you know, that's what they had. And now we're going to go see like the, you know, fillers. They're always like 3 hours of the show. They have to give us matches that don't really have a lot of like significance, a lot of meaning. This is a tag team women's match, and this is Natalya and Tamina going against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. You know, like pretty much like the same matches that we've seen like 2 months, like 3 months, you know, when they were fighting for the championship. But this time is like maybe if like Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler win, they might be able to challenge for the championships one more time. Why? Because remember, Mandy Rose was already traded to NXT, so like Dana Brooke is by herself. She needs to find another tag partner to continue this feud. But this was quick, you know, super kick from Tamina to like Shayna Baszler, and it's a shame to see how much, Shayna Baszler has evaluated herself. You know, like she is not like the woman that like we thought she was going to be on Monday Night Raw, the woman that choked out every single participant in the Elimination Chamber, the last pay-per-view before the pandemic with public. So like it's really, you know, sad to see that like how much Shayna Baszler has devaluated herself one more time in the eyes of like Vince McMahon or in the eyes of like the whole WWE universe. But like, you know, what happens after this is like the most important thing, is because Nia Jax finally debuted in a new hairstyle, like finally breaks off from like Reginald. She starts beating him up and all of that, and all of a sudden for no reason, and that's WWE creative, you know, always happens like this in this fashion. Yeah, Akira Tozawa shows up and Reginald all of a sudden like starts beating him up. He does the senton and all of a sudden he pins Akira Tozawa 1, 2, 3, and he becomes the brand new 24/7 champion. Do we care about this? No, not really, because like the 24/7 champions, outside of R-Truth, that like he's legit, he has a great career. Outside of all of the, you know, the 48 reigns that he's got, like 24/7 champion, he's a great wrestler and all of that. But like Reginald, I mean, this is, how long is this gonna end? How long do you guys think it's gonna end? Like probably 2-3 days, if anything, on YouTube, and like one of the shows, R-Truth is gonna show up from the back and then he's gonna pin him 1, 2, 3, and that's the end. So you know, Reginald gets finally goal, and he's not really a wrestler. He was more like a manager. He started out with Carmella and all of that, like as the assistant, but now he's the 24/7 champion. Do we care about this? Not really. I'm not really invested into this at all whatsoever. So now let's move on, family, to like the championship contenders match, and then one more time, Sheamus against Humberto Carrillo for an opportunity for like the United States Championship. So you know, like the same match that we've seen before, like Humberto trying with like being the aerial moves, more like speed, you know, more like agility than anything, more agile than Sheamus. Sheamus trying to be like more rough, you know, more violent when it comes to the punches and delivering the stuff. We got to see Damian Priest. This is the rivalry. This is the main important thing of like this segment, is Damian Priest and Sheamus are going to be feuding for that United States Championship. I think this match was only just to like set it up for like Damian Priest, because he, aside of like the thing he did with Bad Bunny, he needs like another a good feud. And I think that like Sheamus and Damian Priest can have like really great stuff together. Like they both can have really good chemistry. And babyface Damian Priest going against Sheamus, it can be a really great story, and especially for like the United States Championship. That is a title that needs this type of feuds, believable wrestlers. The rest of them are going to enhance. They're going to make the title look even better. But in the end, you know, Humberto Carrillo hit the moonsault. You know, he was really like, you know, unbelievable. He cannot believe what just happened. He actually hit it in a really good fashion. He thought he was going to win it. I thought that he might have won it. But then Sheamus is still kicked out of, you know, 2.5. And then we got to see the bro kick. 1, 2, 3. Sheamus like shuts down that opportunity for Humberto Carrillo. Go to like the end of the line where you belong. Unfortunately, they don't have faith in Humberto Carrillo. They don't have faith in like any Latino at this point. You know, Angel Garza is completely lost. Humberto Carrillo gone. Dominic and Rey are the only ones that like are trying to like say, you know, to remain current or relevant for like, what it is the Hispanic community on Monday Night Raw. So like the next one, we're gonna see the open challenge from the reigning, defending WWE champion Bobby Lashley. This was actually, you know, really good, because we didn't know who was going to be the guy that was going to challenge. And also like in the fashion that Bobby Lashley retained the WWE championship yesterday with Kofi Kingston, like Jean Paul was saying, it was booked the way that it should have been. You know, Bobby Lashley dominating, destroying Kofi Kingston, completely annihilating him. So that was really, really cool. So like he comes out and MVP saying, you know, he's actually apologizing to Bobby Lashley. He's saying, you know what, champ, I'm sorry. I know that like I brought you the girls, I brought you distractions, I made you forget how dominant, how legit you can be. We actually took this thing a little lightly. But now, you know, I'm sorry, I know the guy that you can be, and now we're going to keep it serious and business. You know, no more distractions, no more girls, no more bullshit, like you said. Like, you know, he actually said that in the promo last week. So it's like, well, you know, let's see who comes out. And out of, like, everybody surprised, the return of the Lucius. You know, Keith Lee is back in Monday Night Raw. We haven't seen him in, like, 5-6 months. A lot of, like, stories coming out of him. We didn't know really, still till this day, we don't know really the main reason why Keith Lee was actually separated from the Monday Night Raw roster. Why was he absent all this time? Maybe soon we will actually find out the reason. Mia Yim did not want to reveal anything. Keith Lee, like every now and then, we will come out on social media and ask the fans, hey, don't give up on me. There's good things coming my way. Don't give up. Stick around. We'll see what happens. But in the end, you know, he comes back. Everybody's happy. Well, we knew that was going to be a good showing, but in the end, Bobby Lashley needed to win because we knew what was actually going to happen. I had mentioned that with Paul yesterday in the review for Monday for Money in the Bank. I had said, you know, somebody, you know, that is like really beloved by the whole WWE universe is coming back. So, you know, the match quality, like I said, pretty good. Keith Lee had a few opportunities. He didn't seem that engaged. I don't know, maybe he needs a few more weeks to get back in the swing of things. But Bobby Lashley ended up retaining the hurt lock, and then Keith Lee actually countered that, but then he actually got another spear because he had got one spear also like on the outside. So Bobby Lashley retained. Keith Lee comes back, but I'm sorry, you're not going to be the WWE champion from the get-go. Right when you come back, you're going to have to wait. Maybe they can throw in the mix for Damian Priest and Sheamus, or maybe, you know, they can like use like now Riker also like against Keith Lee. They can have a few possibilities right there, mix them up a little bit for the Monday Night Raw roster. So in the end, we knew that this guy was going to come back. Yes, family, I know it's hard to believe, but we had said that Bill Goldberg was going to come back and he was going to be the opponent for Bobby Lashley for what's going to be SummerSlam. They could not get Brock Lesnar. Maybe he's not interested. Maybe there was enough money on the table for this match. So what are we going to do? You know, instead of like pushing another guy, maybe like a Big E with a Money in the Bank briefcase, maybe, you know, bring somebody else that could be a more believable opponent for Bobby Lashley. No, you got to bring Goldberg. Bill Goldberg, and you know, he comes out, you know, Lashley actually in one of the pictures that I had, he's actually so scared of Bill Goldberg. I'm like, what is there to be scared about? Why do you have to be scared of like Bill Goldberg? Like, he's probably what, 10-15 years older than you, and yet, you know, like you don't think that you're gonna beat him. So anyway, he comes out and he says I'm next. So this pretty much is going to be like the match for SummerSlam. It's really unfortunate because like at least on the other side of like on SmackDown, John Cena is going to go against Roman Reigns. So that's really cool. We were actually hoping for that. And then Edge with Seth Rollins. That's going to be another great match. But we actually wanted to see Monday Night Raw going toe-to-toe with SmackDown. And this is not the case because actually Goldberg and Lashley, we know that Lashley is going to retain first of all. And also like in a really quick fashion because Bill Goldberg cannot go more than 5 minutes. So, you know, MVP just mentions that he says that he actually feels really disrespected because the way that like Goldberg just stopped the celebration and just shows up out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden he wants a championship opportunity, which is a very, very credible reason. Because why? Every time that there's a big event, the first time that he did that was at the Royal Rumble against with Drew McIntyre. Now he does the same exact thing, challenging Bobby Lashley for a championship opportunity, and nobody else can have an opportunity. So that's really unbelievable on the side of creative on WWE. They should try to, you know, again, build new stars. You could actually try maybe Sheamus. You put the title on Priest. You could have or Priest went against Bobby Lashley would have been even better because it's two guys that like never really wrestled before, and it makes a lot of sense. Why? Because you need to bring new stars. You need to create new stars rather than just rely on like the old superstars that like actually nobody wants to see anymore. I don't know if anybody wants to see Bill Goldberg at this stage of at this stage of the game. You know, the way that he's been performing lately. Don't forget what happened with The Undertaker in Saudi Arabia. So that's all I gotta say. So Bobby Lashley looks really pissed off, but in the end I think he's gonna agree to the match at SummerSlam. So then we go now to Jinder Mahal. Remember what happened yesterday at Money in the Bank? He was the one that caused Drew McIntyre like the match. He actually was helped out by these guys from Indushare. Shaki is right there, and also the other guy. So like he's actually celebrating. It was his birthday today. So happy birthday to Jinder, the modern day Maharaja Mahal. You know, in their 35th birthday. He says that his birthday gift is the fact that like Drew McIntyre didn't win Money in the Bank, so he feels really excited, he feels really happy, and then Shanky's like singing like a happy birthday to Jinder Mahal, and before he can actually finish, we get to see Drew McIntyre from the back. He has a chair in hand, and then he starts beating him up, both members of Indushare. One of them goes with Jinder Mahal onto the outside, and then Shanky just stays there, and Drew completely isolates the guy, and like with 20 chair shots, he completely takes care of the guy, destroys him, and he's really ready what is going to be this rivalry to start and actually to take place where? SummerSlam also. So we already have a few matches that are going to happen in there. One more time, Seth Rollins with Edge is going to be in lockdown, and also like John Cena wins Roman Reigns, now Goldberg with Bobby Lashley, and now just Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. And I think that like it's good that like you keep Drew McIntyre as a believable babyface, but like you pull him out of the title picture. Why? Because like he had so many opportunities, so it's time for him to actually have just some feud that is gonna keep him hot, for then maybe either move to SmackDown when the drop happens and then he can challenge Roman, or like maybe Bobby Lashley loses the championship to, I hope not Bill Goldberg, but somebody else, then maybe he can challenge one more time. So it's okay. Drew needs to stay in that mid-card to actually go into main event just for a few months. It's not going to hurt him. It's just like they need other guys to be featured in the main event scene. Not Bill Goldberg though. Well, that's it, family. So now let's move on to debut of KARRION Kross. Karrion Kross actually debuts tonight, and that was a really big surprise. No Scarlett, so that's, I think it hurts him. You know, he's still the NXT champion, so also I don't think that was necessary. If he's gonna debut on Monday Night Raw, he needs to debut just as like Karrion Kross. He should have dropped the title to either Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Bronson Reed. There's so many guys on NXT. We covered that show every single week also. So it should have been a better idea if, you know, you would have dropped the title to any of those guys. And one more time, I said the fact that Scarlett is not there with him, it like just takes a lot from him, because it's like we're used to seeing him as a duo. So now him coming by himself, I don't know, and especially what happened after that. You know, Jeff Hardy, he's gonna be going against Jeff Hardy. He got no more words back. Family, it's been 11 years since we haven't seen no more words with Jeff Hardy because of obvious reasons. He went to Impact, he stayed there for a long time, and then he came back to WWE on 2017, but he was with Matt. So like, of course, they had to play the song with like the Hardys, not his like just like his solo song, but now he's finally back, and they were a promise. He signed a contract with the WWE if they will give him no more words back, and they had to wait till there were crowd. WWE actually fulfilled the promise. Yeah, they went through it. There were crowds, no more words is back. So that was cool, but I thought to myself, oh my god, like he's gonna come back with no more words, and he's gonna be jabbed out to Karrion Kross. You know, he started a really hot Kross, like dominating really good, but then Jeff Hardy actually tried to like equalize the situation, and you know, Jeff Hardy ends up picking the win. You know, in like a really like heelish fashion. You know, he actually Karrion Kross avoided the Swanton bomb, but then, you know, like he actually rolled him up, and Jeff Hardy actually, with the help of the ropes, he ended up like pinning after like a power bomb, 1, 2, 3, and Jeff Hardy wins the match, which, you know, for Karrion Kross is really terrible. You know, but for me, Jeff Hardy wins. No more words is back. You know, that's the only reason why they did it. Probably also there was a lot of like Jeff Hardy was trending on Twitter yesterday night because he was not featured on Money in the Bank. So like the WWE creatives and the officials, they realize how important and vital Jeff Hardy is for like the WWE. They need to do something with this guy. He still has a lot of guns in the tank. You know, like I said, a credible baby face. This win is not gonna matter a lot, but like for me at least, the music, everybody, the nostalgia is good. And Karrion Kross, like I said, they're doing him wrong from the get-go. So this is a big opportunity for Triple H to actually say to McMahon, you need to bring Scarlett along with him. You need to partner them up. That's how I've been presenting them to the NXT audience like that. Bring them again like this way is going to be better, because by himself is not going to be good for Karrion Kross. He's going to have the same fate as Kid Lee, you know, and like everybody else from NXT that like has not been featured. Great, because we have at least, I will say, 2 guys, Matt Riddle and Damian Priest. So far they've been portrayed pretty nice, pretty decent on Monday Night Raw. Now let's go move on to the return of Lily. Alexa Bliss in the playground. Alexa Bliss says Lily's back. She's like, you know, I'm not gonna try to be all the way here because like she might get timed out one more time, but we had a segment. You know, she says she's a little like in pain yet because of all the stuff that happened on Money in the Bank. And then we got to see Eva Marie and Ddragunov. We're gonna call him Ddragunov just one time because of Jean Paul. Piper Niven. So like Alexa's still talking to like Piper, and they says, hey, you know, I want to be friends with you, all of that. But then Eva Marie, she starts saying that no, we should get rid of like that doll, put him in the trash can. Alexa goes, well, I wouldn't do that if I will be you. So you see like the superpowers, and it says, well, Lily, I don't want to time her out. I don't want her to be away, so just leave. So they have a like weird interaction. This is not great, you know. This is like just something for Alexa to do, and also to Eva Marie. And Alexa actually like says that like they should have a match, one-on-one, Alexa and her, and Piper Niven should be out of the picture. Just she goes, why don't you just time out her and then just go one-on-one, and you can show me what you're really about. So that's what happened, but we're gonna see. And then Eva Marie actually, because of the superpowers that also Lily has, like she trips and then she falls, and then Alexa's like, oops, Lily did it. So like that's how the segment ends. I mean, Piper Niven is still being featured on TV is good. I don't know if they're gonna do right by her, but like at least she's regularly on, you know, Monday Night Raw. I hope that like once this situation with the Evolution or like all of that with Eva Marie like ends, then they give her something better, because she's a great wrestler. She's really talented, and she needs to have a character in this show. Alexa is just, you know, has to be featured on the show because she has a lot of like fandom. She's like really popular, and you know, the character, like she does the best she can what she's given. So, you know, like as a wrestler, maybe she's not everybody's cup of tea, but at least, you know, as an actress, I think she does a great job with it. Don't forget, next week we're going to see the Raw Tag Team Championship rematch. Remember, like I said, the Viking experience, one pin in John Morrison. Actually, that had some dividends, paid some dividends for the Viking Raiders, because they're going to have a rematch with Omos and AJ Styles for the titles. I think in this situation, they're actually going to win it, and now finally they're going to try to get AJ Styles and Omos to break them apart, and then AJ can be back to like be a main event talent, and maybe Omos just start to building him up in a different fashion. The guy has a lot of potential. We even said in the review yesterday, Kevin Nash is the one training him. I don't want to say that like that's the greatest thing in the world or that's a blessing, but at least, you know, he's trying to learn how to work as a big guy, so that's important. So we'll see this match already next week, so you know, be with us for that also, family. Let's go to the main event. Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley for the Women's Championship rematch from last night on Money in the Bank, and they gave us the same match. Pretty much the same spots. You know, there's not a lot of time for the girls to actually sit down and be like, what can we do different? But in the end, you know, a lot of like Charlotte domination. Rhea tried to like also like get some offense in there, but like Charlotte had injured like Rhea's like ankle from the beginning of the match, so there was a lot of like they played out of that, and then Rhea actually countered. She was trying to do the figure eight, give him a little bit of her own medicine to Charlotte, but in the end, you know, the Queen knows what she's doing, so she gets herself disqualified. She actually hits Rhea Ripley with the title, so like on the outside, so she gets disqualified, but yet, you know, disqualification never like lets you like lose the championship. So Charlotte is happy, everybody can go home, you know, really excited. No, actually I was thinking this is the worst way to end the show, because it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't give you any reason why you should have stayed all the way till 11 o'clock watching this show. But then in the end, actually WWE did us a little right, and you know, you can see Rhea Ripley and Charlotte still going at it. In the meantime, in this process of exchanging of punches, Rhea Ripley hit like the riptide, so then Charlotte is already like, you know, really tired from the match from yesterday, and now the finisher, so she was already worn out, and we got to see NIkki AS.H, you know, the winner from the Money in the Bank briefcase. She shows up and she's gonna cash in, so she does it in a great fashion, in a really poorly executed crossbody. She cashes in and then she pins the Queen. 1, 2, 3, and we have a new women's champion in NIkki AS.H. The almost superhero is the brand new Raw Women's Champion. I think that like they did it to save the show. It's a great decision. I hope that she actually holds the title for a long time. Maybe SummerSlam, maybe right after like the next pay-per-view. I wouldn't mind that. Nikki Cross is a great wrestler. The fact that like she's been able to pull this gimmick, you know, this new character that she's been given off in a really great way, I'm so for her. You know, she deserves something better. She deserved to be champion for a long time. She had a great rivalry with Bayley. She held the tag titles with Alexa Bliss, so she's already been showing that she wanted an opportunity. Remember, coming out of all of that, when Alexa actually aligned with the Fiend, then Nikki Cross actually, you know, we actually didn't see her for a long time. So now that she's back and now she has this gimmick, it's important like that she wins gold. She did it. I think the whole Dallas crowd, and I think a lot of people are actually really happy for Nikki Cross. I'm happy. Like I said, I hope she retains. Even Paul sent me a text. He said hopefully she can actually retain it all the way to like SummerSlam, or hold it to SummerSlam, or maybe a little longer. I wouldn't mind that. But like the gimmick itself, I don't think it's going to last a lot. But hey, they gave us this, and actually Nikki Cross, she can say I've been champion in the WWE. I think it's a way to pay her off for like putting this gimmick and being able to like make everybody believe that she deserved it. So that's good. I'm really happy for her. You know, Killian Dane, her husband, was fired from the WWE, so it's a way for her to say, girl, you know, you've been putting up with a lot, but you know, we're gonna give you something for you. There you go, you're gonna be the brand new Raw Women's Champion. So that's how the show ended, and I'm gonna leave you with that. You know, a great picture. Nikki's happy, everybody's happy. I want to say the whole show, I will give it like a 5, 5.5. There was a lot of returns. You know, John Cena was there, Jeff Hardy with no more words, Keith Lee coming back, debut Karrion Kross, like a lot of things. Yeah, like at least the show was a lot more watchable. Yes, I will give you that. But like Goldberg challenging Bobby Lashley, very predictable. So that's why like the show suffers. But at least with this end, at least, you know, I feel a lot more better. I can actually go to sleep, you know, with a smile on my face, because Nikki Cross, NIkki AS.H, almost superhero, is the brand new Raw Women's Champion, family. Thank you so very much to every single one of you. Don't forget to subscribe to Facebook, all the social media platforms. You see Instagram, you see Twitter, you see Facebook, you see Twitch now. Also, we're on TikTok. We're on every single platform in the social media waves. So, you know, the original Raw Break and all of them. and Facebook is actually just Rope Break, just because, you know, on Rope Break on Facebook it was actually a lot easier to like put the name, but just follow us on every single one of them on Facebook, hit the bell for notifications, give the video a like so it keeps going higher in the rankings. I'm Juanzo. Tomorrow we'll actually see you twice because we're going to be with soccer content, and then later on in the night the main event is going to be NXT. It's going to be a great show. Jean Paul is going to be alongside, so it's going to be a great show for every single one of you. Family, have a great night, and I say bye to you saying